We see crashes on the roads of West Michigan every day. None of those more dangerous than crashes involving semi-trucks. In this week's Know the Law segment, Tom Sinas here to talk about what to do if you're involved in one of those accidents. That's a lot of weight moving down the highway or the street.
It sure is, and the statistics bear it out that these are the most deadly vehicles on the roads, and if you are involved in an accident with a truck, you are much more likely to be seriously killed or injured than if you're involved with a car for the various reasons that you just said. Here's the thing to remember about semi-truck accidents. You cannot treat them like a car accident. It's natural to think that, well, this is just a car accident with a bigger car. They are completely different cases than your average car accident. Semi-trucks are governed under a set of federal rules issued by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Act. And they are governed by various departments within the federal government. Even for those semi-trucks that are not engaged in interstate commerce, meaning the ones that stay in Michigan, Michigan has its own Motor Carrier Safety Act. And these Motor Carrier Safety Acts set forth very, very specific rules and regulations about how semi-trucks are supposed to be maintained, how they're supposed to be operated.
Speed limits, everything.
Exactly. Qualifications for the drivers.
So their rules of the road completely different from people driving cars.
I couldn't have said it any better. Completely different, which is why if you're involved in a semi-truck accident, it needs to be handled by someone that understands the differences in the rules of the road. However, if you are a victim of a semi-truck accident, the one thing to remember that isn't different about a car accident is that you are entitled to Michigan no-fault benefits. Well, we've talked about this before. Those include for example, your lifetime medical expenses. Because in order to claim no-fault benefits, all you have to do is show that you're involved in an accident with a motor vehicle, and a semi-truck is a motor vehicle. So that's the good news. What's been going on recently in Washington, particularly in the end of 2016, is that there's been some new federal rules imposed that would put speed limiters on semi-trucks. Now, these are not rules that have passed yet. The public comment period just closed, but they would cap the actual speed that semi-trucks could travel. And there are a lot of people saying this is exactly what we need to do, because if you get hit by one of those trucks going at 75 miles an hour, your chances of surviving are pretty slim. All this, however, is changing, right? Because we are about to inaugurate a new president and we have a new administration, and they're going to be able to decide what new rules to set and what old rules to get rid of.
He's kind of all about throwing out some of the regulations to increase business.
That's what he said. It's going to be interesting to see what he does when it comes to semi-trucks. Another thing that's happening is the autonomous vehicle revolution is starting to show up in the semi-truck world. We are hearing news reports that semi-trucks, autonomous semi-trucks are being driven with drivers in them, but they're driving themselves along the highway. So the future of semi-truck accidents and semi-truck law is very much to be written.
In flux.
Yes, like everything else. But if you are involved in an accident with a semi-truck, understand that it's a very, very serious situation. You need to protect your no-fault benefits, and you need, as you said, to find someone that understands those different rules of the road that applies to semi-trucks.
And if somebody has a question about an accident they've been in or some injury they've suffered because of somebody else, you guys can take those calls.
More than happy to talk with them. We've handled a lot of semi-truck cases. Area code 616-301-3333 in Grand Rapids. You can find us online anywhere at www.sinasdramis.com or send us an email at info@sinasdramis.com.
Great stuff to think about. Thanks again, Tom.
Thanks, Christian.